Hi,
you?
I'm well.
Great to meet you.
Nice to meet you, darling.
I love the film. That bit when you're singing on the piano in the apartment, I just bawling my eyes out.
Oh,
Got to
Stan
me.
and Dan with Andy
Yeah,
Newman.
love that moment. We're good? Okay. I'm going to begin, Renee, just asking what you had to sort of go on in this instance, because obviously what we know of Judy Garland is her on-screen performances, but you had to find the human behind the lens, you know, the kind of subtle moments of vulnerability when she's just on her own. How did you go about accessing that part of her? Did you have anything to sort of to go on?
Well, I've read a lot of books, a lot of autobiographies, people who knew her, and biographies, and sort of dove in. And then I would compare what was written in the books to interviews that she had done at the time, and then look at it from public record and see what people were writing about at that time. And then I just tried to imagine, knowing what I know a little bit about performance and traveling and being on your own, away from your family and your friends, and, you know, apply the circumstances of her life at that time, based on public record and what she had said about her life at that time, and just imagine, again, from what I know about it, from, you know, being familiar with the schedule and what it takes and what that life looks like away from the spotlight when you're just a person and you're not this persona that people assume that you might be, what that might be like. And I just tried to empathize.
I was speaking to my mum yesterday about the movie, and she can't wait to see it because she said Judy Garland is like her. It's what reminds her most of cinema, but I think it's what she thinks about when she was a child. It's that Judy Garland is what captures the essence of what cinema is to her. I was wondering,
movie star.
Yeah, who's your equivalent? Have you is it Judy Garland, or who's the person that you would say that is your Judy?
Oh, well, she was the zenith. You know, I grew up in a generation where you had to, you know, be at the television at the, you know, time of year when Wizard of Oz came on, or you'd miss it, you know, and it was a cultural experience. You know, everybody watched it, so we all shared the same heroes, you know, so the Bob Hope specials and, you know, all of that. And she's among those icons who sort of carved their place as originals for all time. So yeah, certainly she's at the zenith.
I mean, despite being one of the greatest movie stars ever, I mean, a lot of this is about the kind of nerves and the kind of self-doubts that any performer would kind of have. And I'm just wondering about, you know, despite being one of the sort of most sort of the leading actresses in Hollywood, do you still get those nerves, and do you embrace nerves, you know, before a big scene or before a big shoot? Do you feel nervous, and do you still have those moments of self-doubt? What's your relationship like with your own work?
Oh, sure. The stage fright scenes in this film were not difficult to perform, I can tell you that. Yeah, I do. I do embrace it, like you say, because if it doesn't scare me, then, you know, I don't know. I'm not doing something right, I suppose. You know, I just feel a certain responsibility because it's a collaborative medium. So I'm sharing the work with different departments. There's hundreds of us all coming together to make this one piece of art. So I want to hold up my end of the deal, you know. That's all, you know.
And I'm afraid, as you're in the UK, it's sort of mandatory that I have to mention Bridget Jones. I'm afraid they're just the rules.
No, I'll always mention Bridget Jones.
I mean, because there's obviously been talk of that, because the last one was such a huge success. I mean, just wondering about talks about the fourth. I know, obviously, I think you've said before it's something you would entertain the idea of, but have there been any developments in that regard, any conversations that may have taken place?
Not that I know of. I'm not being coy, I promise, and I am the last to know. And I'm not being coy with that either. I'm not exaggerating. I really don't know. They talk and have conversations, and people make plans, and then they call me.
But if the script was right, is it something you would be keen to
I love the idea of a character that you follow through, you know, the evolution of her life. I love that. I mean, like Lucy, you know, Lucille Ball. You know, I loved her in black and white in New York City, and I loved her in California in the ranch-style home, and I loved her in Technicolor when she worked in the bank, you know. It was, I mean, and what a treasure to get to participate in that in some way. This gorgeous, gorgeous lady. I mean, I love Bridget. I've always loved Bridget. Before being part of Bridget, I've loved Bridget. So, I mean, if that's something Helen wants to do, call me.
Well, thank you so much for your time. Much appreciated.
Thank you too. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yeah.
Nice.
Hey,